Good evening and welcome everyone back to our channel. I hope we have been enjoying the series and the videos that we've been putting out. Today we are starting the first of a three-part series where we're going to look deeply into the structure of bacteria. Look at all the structures that bacteria have and what those structures do to keep the bacteria alive. Now, like I said, it's a three-part series where we're going to discuss one, the external structures of the bacterial cell that helps the bacteria to stay alive. And then the second part will talk about the cell wall, its structure, the makeup, and the function of the cell wall of bacteria. And the third video in the three-part series will discuss the internal structures of the bacterial cell and what they do. So for this video, we'll look at the external structures of the bacterial cell and what they do to help to keep the bacteria alive. Now, when you draw the diagram of the bacterial cell, you look at the external structures, and the first structure that can be seen is what we call a flagella. The flagella is an appendage that is attached to the bacteria, and the flagella's major function is for motility, for movement, for locomotion. So it helps the bacteria to propel the bacteria. So when you have a bacteria which is motile, which moves, many a times the bacteria makes use of the flagella. Now, the flagella has many different arrangements in many different types of bacteria. One, the flagella could be one of the two important things to note about the flagella is that the flagella could be polar or lateral. Polar meaning from the word, from the pole, you say polar. So if you have flagella that is present or that is attached at one end of the bacteria or another end of the bacteria, we refer to such a flagella as being a polar flagella. In contrast, we also have what we call lateral flagella. And this is flagella that is attached to the side of the bacteria, not the pole of the bacteria. Such a bacteria is said to have a lateral flagella. Now, apart from being polar or lateral, we also have different types of flagella, other types of flagella that we could discuss. First type that we can talk about is what we call monotricious flagella. Now, what do we have in monotricious flagella? Monotricious flagella is when a bacteria has a single flagella attached to one end of the bacteria. It could be either to the north pole of the bacteria or to the south pole of the bacteria. Such a bacteria is said to have a mono from one, so monotricious flagella. Now, you can have a lophotricious flagella. A lophotricious flagella means that the bacteria has more than one flagella. So the singular is flagellum and the plural is flagella. So it has more than one flagella. So you have more than one flagellum, sorry. So you have 2, 3, or 4. So if it has that on either side, either on the left pole, on the north pole, or on the south pole, that's either on the left side of the bacteria or the right side of the bacteria, that is at the poles, you refer to that as being lophotricious flagella. Now, the third is amphitricious flagella. Now, amphitricious flagella is taken from the word ambidextrous, meaning it's on both sides. So when you have either a single flagellum or 2, 3 flagella on the two sides of a bacteria, one side and the other side, at the same time, we refer to such a flagellum as such a bacteria as having a flagella that is amphitricious flagella. Now, the last but not the least is petricious flagella, and this is when you have an arrangement of lateral flagella surrounding the bacteria, all around the side of the bacteria. This is important to know. Now, it's also important to know that the flagella is made up of three major structures. You have what we call a basal body that is sitting deep inside the bacteria, and from there you now have a hook. That is what comes out of the basal body onto, out into the environment, and then you have the tip of the flagella. And it's important to know that the flagella usually grows from the tip. It grows out from the tip. This is important to know. Now, the second structure, so flagellum, is the first external structure of the bacterial cell. The second external structure is the pili, which we also call pilus, which is the singular, or we also refer to it as fimbriae. And these are hair-like projections which, are around the cell wall of the bacteria. Hair-like little projections around the cell wall of the bacteria, and they are external. They are part of the external structures of the bacterial cell. And what is the function of the fimbriae? It has many functions, but one of the, or two of the most important functions of the fimbriae is one, it acts as and adhesin. It helps the bacteria to adhere to different surfaces. So the bacteria uses the fimbriae to attach itself, to anchor itself to different surfaces. It could be surfaces in the environment of humans, of animals, or even in just the normal environment. So the fimbriae helps the bacteria to anchor itself to surfaces. The fimbriae is also used as a sex pilus. That is, it presents itself as a passage. So two bacteria can come together in what we call bacterial conjugation, where two bacteria come together and then they make use of their fimbriae as a sex pilus. And so these two bacteria attach one to another. And when they attach, what do they now do? They exchange genetic materials. They exchange genetic materials, and after this exchange has been done, the two bacteria divide and go their separate ways. So the fimbriae can be used for adhesion. It can also be used as a sex pilus during bacterial conjugation. This is very important to know. Now, the third structure to be talked about is a capsule. Many bacteria have what you call a capsule, and if you have a capsule around the bacteria, that bacteria is referred to as an encapsulated bacteria. And you can also have the naked bacteria that doesn't have a capsule around it. And so what is this capsule? The capsule is made up of lipids and it surrounds the bacterial cell. It helps to provide protection for the bacterial cell against the environment. It helps to protect the bacterial cell from desiccation and drying. It helps to protect the bacterial cell from the action of bacteriophages, which are viruses that want to enter into the bacteria and destroy the bacteria. So it keeps the bacteria very safe. Now, we have two types of capsules. We have one, what we call a microcapsule, which is a capsule that is around a single bacterium. A capsule, lipid substance that is viscous, that is around a single bacterium, is what we refer to as a microcapsule. We also have what we call a slime, or some texts refer to it as a slime mold. Now, this is a matrix, a larger capsule in which many bacteria are inside within it. So it surrounds, that is a slime mold is a capsule structure that surrounds a bacterial community. So we have many bacteria within the slime mold, and then the slime mold covers this bacteria and provides protection for the bacteria. This can be seen in some complex bacterial societies or communities, like we refer to some of them as biofilms. This is important to know. So the capsule protects the bacteria. Now, apart from the capsules, we also have other structures that we refer to as sheaths, 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 prosteca, and stalk. These are also external structures of the bacterial cell, and they do their part to help the bacterial cell in anchorage. They do their part to help the bacterial cell in pathogenicity and in invasiveness, making the bacterial cell more effective in nature and making it more resilient in nature and able to overcome, the elements of nature and weather. These are some of the external structures that we can find in a bacterial cell that helps the bacterial cell to survive. If we do a quick recap, we've discussed flagella and the different types of flagella. We've discussed pili or fimbriae or pilus. We've discussed capsules. These are all external structures of the bacterial cell. We've also discussed prosteca, sheaths, and stalks. They are all external structures of the bacterial cell. Thank you for listening to this video and have a wonderful day.